Okay, or you can play with me. This is video on how to do the Sevcik Opus 9 etudes, how we're going to do them. Okay, so the first rule is that we're going to practice them with one beat per bow. So they're all, I think they're, well, they all have slurs. A lot of them have slurs, like the entire measure is slurred or whatever. We're going to do one beat per bow. Some of them, if, like I'll give you an example. Number 11 has 2 beats per bow. You could start with 1 beat per bow and then work up, but I want them to sound good with 1 beat per bow before we even think about worrying about the slurs or anything like that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is we're going to change the key for them as we go. So we're going to start number 1 and we're going to do it in C major. And then, number 2, whatever, in G major, whatever. And then we'll just go through the keys and stuff. So you have to kind of, in your mind, change that. Sometimes there are going to be cases where the notes would be impossible to play in that key. So I'll give you an example. If you look on number 1, I'm talking about the violin one. The first 2 notes, or the first note is an octave G. So let's just say hypothetically we were playing in the key of something with a G flat, a key with G flat. Well, you can't play G flat. At least you can't play an octave G flat on the violin. So I want you to do one of 2 things, and you can just decide in your practice. I don't really care. You can just leave out that first chord because you can't play G flat. Or you can just not play it as a double spot, play one of the notes that you can. So like, for example, you could play that G flat, the 3, instead of, and just don't play an octave. Just play like the low 3, and then go into the rest of it. That's just, you have to just kind of work it out. They're each different, so you have to work out which one works better for you. You're going to use a drone. So let's try. Charlie's with me here. We're going to do the first one in the key of C major, just demonstrate.
First one.
Yeah, so, and we're doing 1 beat per bow. So, ready? Right, is that etc. We don't have to do the whole thing. It gives you an idea. It's actually, this one works perfectly in C major. It's really easy. There's no problems with notes that don't work. The other thing is sometimes you have to change the fingering given your accidentals. Like sometimes the fingering that they wrote in there wouldn't work. Like if you were going to play that first one, say in the key of A major, or you'd have to play the octave. You couldn't play like open. You just have to change the fingering because you'd have to be playing G sharp. So just know that. The fingerings that are in there are meant for C major. So anyway.